Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by Hopes and Dreams. Yes, let's start with Ben Stiller, because just last week we talked about how Stiller is working on a World War II survival film, but at the same time, he has like 4 other projects in the air, so there were no other details to announce as far as when this film would be happening. But now, just a week later, things are a bit more clear. The new movie will be called The Last Airman, and it will be produced along with Amazon MGM Studios. It will also be shooting in spring of 2026 already, and it's rumored to have Jake Gyllenhaal attached to star as the lead role. Now that more has come out, it looks like this story was somewhat in the works in 2018 with Gyllenhaal attached, but now Stiller is giving it a new life, and it's happening quickly. The plot revolves around Arthur Meyerowitz. It's an American turret gunner whose B-24 was shot down over France in 1943, and it follows the months and problems he faced while trying to escape. And as I said last week, Stiller dips his toe in a lot of different pools, and they're either from not very bad to extremely good, like in Severance. So overall, we say just go for it. Some Zack Snyder news here. Old Zack, known for 300, Watchmen, the first DCU attempt at Warner, and recently the Rebel Moon movies at Netflix. It's safe to say that we are getting some diminished returns, to put it mildly, but Snyder will now be working on a passion project of his for years, and shooting starts in about a month. The movie is called The Last Photograph, and Zack has been working on it since the mid-2000s. It's a war drama about an ex-DEA operative who returns to the mountains of South America in an effort to find his missing niece and nephew following the brutal murders of their diplomat parents. So something different for sure here, and sounding much better than what we've been getting lately. Snyder said, quote, "The Last Photograph is a meditation of life and death, embodying some of the trials that I have experienced in my own life and the exploration of those ideas through image making," end quote. He has Hans Zimmer on board to compose for the film, and so far lead stars Stuart Martin and Fra Fee. Filming will take place on location in a few countries around the world, so cautiously kind of excited for this. And hey, it sounds like we'll have a chance to see The Last Photograph next year. Let's talk about writer and director Edward Zwick. He may not be a household name, but has been in the business for 5 decades. And in fact, you probably do know him for directing films like Courage Under Fire, Blood Diamond, Glory, Legends of the Fall, and The Last Samurai. Zwick is just 72 years old, and although he's been a little quiet lately, Zwick seems to be on the move again. So it has been confirmed that he will be writing and directing his next film called The Creed of Violence, based on the novel by Boston Turan in 2009. The story is a revisionist Western set during the Mexican Revolution, tracking the uneasy alliance between a government agent and a hired killer, and about men bound by a dark secret as they traverse a violent, corrupt landscape. So that sounds pretty good too, and in fact, it could even be a trilogy if things go well, since 2 other books are also written. Zwick is never the most talked about guy, but when you look at his work, he is a serious director with a lot of chops, so I'll be keeping an eye on this one as things develop. The Creed of Violence is officially in pre-production, so I'll have updates as timeframes for the film are released. Then some quick news here. So Warner Brothers landed the rights to a Kobe Bryant film. It's titled With the Eighth Pick. The movie will focus on the 2-week period leading up to the 1996 NBA draft, so it really won't get into Kobe's large career and then, of course, his unfortunate death, but rather it will be more like an intense draft day, high-stakes picture following the young Bryant. No director or schedule is set yet, so we'll have updates as more comes out. And lastly, old Nicolas Cage. He made a headline or two that legitimately brought a huge smile to my face when seeing it. Mr. Cage is in talks to lead Season 5 of True Detective. Still a love show, but not really getting the return of praise like Season 1 did. This could be a huge get for HBO and showrunner Isa Lopez. Season 5 will take place in Jamaica Bay, Long Island, and Cage would be playing the New York detective Henry Logan. Cage is currently filming the John Madden biopic with David O. Russell, and then will be immediately filming the sequel to Lord of War. So hopefully after that, HBO lets the Nick out of his cage for True Detective Season 5. But with that, let's jump on over to the box office for this past weekend. So fifth best at the box office was The Bad Guys 2 with $5.1 million. Fourth was The Fantastic Four: First Steps, raking in an even $6 million. Third for the weekend was Freakier Friday with $8.9 million. Second was Weapons with $15.4, and a worldwide total so far of $200 million now for Weapons. With a budget of $38, it's made its money and then some. But then the best movie at the box office this past weekend was Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters. Yes, with $19.2 million. This is the first time ever Netflix came out on top at the box office, really due to their unwillingness to have theatrical releases or large theatrical releases. And due to their unwillingness, K-pop Demon Hunters is being pulled from theaters. So there won't be any chance of it hitting number one again next week. And, this is just how Netflix rolls. They really hate releasing their movies in theaters, and now viewers and directors alike are starting to hate them. But that is the story of Netflix right now. So coming up this Thursday, Vincent Daly will be watching, rating, and reviewing. We've got a small town showdown for you, or at least that's the connective tissue that we were able to find here for these two newly released films. So we have Sydney Sweeney, hailing from Spokane, Washington, starring in Americana, that film taking place in a small town in South Dakota. And then we have Margaret Qualley from Kalispell, Montana, starring in Honey, Don't. And she is playing a small-town investigator in California. So we'll see what Vincent Daly has to say about those movies on Thursday, but that's it for your weekly movie news here, folks. We'll leave you today with a quote from an actor, Nicolas Cage. "I'm not a demon. I am a lizard, a shark, a heat-seeking panther. I want to be Bob Denver on acid, playing the accordion." And all right, folks, the Daily Ratings weekly movie news podcast, that was it. See you on Thursday.